With landscape photography, it can be all too easy to find reasons not to go out and take photographs. I'm guilty of this myself. If the weather doesn't look promising, it can often be my warm bed that wins me over. But what tends to happen is that I will wake up with a feeling of regret, especially when I had specifically put time aside to go and enjoy photography. Over the years, I have learned that what feels good in the moment, such as staying in bed, doesn't leave you feeling fulfilled in the long term. And for all of my failed, wet, cold, miserable photo shoots, I have never once felt regret after waking up early and venturing out into the cold, uninviting blackness of dawn. This video is a great example of this, and even though this was a 5 AM start with a long drive into the bleakness of the wet, cold moors without a good image to show at the end of it, yeah, I'll put that out there now, I still gained so much more from going out than I would have by staying at home and using the bad weather as a reason not to go out and shoot. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to a soggy day here in the north of England. But as wet as it may be, it's absolutely beautiful. Autumn is well and truly kicking in now. You can see by all of the colourful bracken behind me. And just like in last week's video, we're going to be focusing on the intimate, more detailed shot. Oh, hey! I don't know if you caught that in the background. There we go, go on, go, 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 go! Yeah, gone like a flash. That's Meg. So what I was going to say next is I'm here with Simon Baxter, but that's pretty obvious by the massive dog running through the scene. So what was I saying? Intimate landscapes. When autumn starts to turn, you know, in summertime, and I suppose in winter time, I'm drawn to the big vistas. But in autumn, I'm not drawn to the big vistas really. I'm much more interested in those textured, detailed shots, those intimate shots that work so well on a day like today where it's dark, rainy, generally miserable, which is what autumn is in the UK most of the time. Hi Meg. Oh, speaking of which, there's Simon Baxter down there. Yeah, we've come to a beautiful hidden woodland nestled in a valley on a very wet day, and we're going to hopefully capture some beautiful images. Beautiful images of a very wet, soggy day.
Good morning.
Meg nearly knocked over my camera.
In true Meg style.
Yeah, classic Meg. Hope she's insured.
Yeah, I'm going to sell. I've got that lot for you.
Oh yeah.
Sell that.
So already me and Simon have parted ways in this woodland. It's very dense woodland. It's an okay size, it's a good size, but what I find is when there's two of you together, you tend to miss a lot when you're walking around and chatting. So Simon's gone off to explore one part of the woodland, just probably across the river where I've just come from. And I've just come to check out the other side of the river and the valley, see what I can see. And I find when I'm by myself, it's much easier to walk, stop and investigate every detail, anything that might make an image. Whereas when you're with someone else, you kind of feel like you're being a bit indecisive, maybe wasting time. So I find in these environments it's much better just to be by yourself for portions of time. We've got walkie-talkies down there, walkie-talkies, so we're in contact all the time. Yeah, this is lovely, and it isn't raining too hard right now, which is quite nice. So despite it being quite wet, grey, miserable and fairly late in the year, I think we're on the 29th of September right now, so still not in the full autumnal swing, but we are heading that way. But yeah, despite it being wet and fairly miserable, it's quite humid, it's quite warm, so let's take off a couple of layers. Just met back up with Simon briefly. We had a bit of a wander together. We spotted this vibrant rowan tree. This rowan tree that's absolutely covered in red berries. It's full, and it really stands out. It's on the other side of the river, on the other side of the valley. I'm kind of high up the valley on the wrong side. So I'm bushwhacking at the minute through lots of through lots of bracken, unsteady underfoot, trying to get a view of this rowan tree, because I've only really seen it through the branches and through the trees, which is nice. And that's kind of my idea for a shot, is to frame it either through some foliage or using a couple of trees or branches. But yeah, I think for the next few minutes, next 5-10 minutes, I'll be searching high and low to try and find a window to the rowan. And I think that should make a lovely shot, you know, a nice vibrant splash of red in the landscape. Very abstract, I think. Shallow depth of field, that kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So, traipsing, bushwhacking. There it is, there she is. Trying to get a good view of this vibrant red rowan tree. So I've been walking around for quite a few minutes now, just looking for a composition with this rowan tree, but unfortunately it's really frustrating because you can only ever see glimpses of it. And actually the best view, I don't know if you can see it, it's just in front of you guys now, but I'm heading down here, which is well sketchy. Very steep drop off. Whoa! Yeah, very steep drop off here. But I'm hoping I'm gonna get like a nice view. There's a river down at the bottom. It's about 100 feet below me. Very steep bank. Do not want to slip, because if I gather momentum, I'm not gonna stop down there. And I'm hoping that by heading in this direction and dropping down a bit, that the view down towards the rowan tree is going to open up, and there'll be a window, because there's some lovely yellow colour as well down there. And I'm kind of hoping for total abstract image. Yellow, red, shallow depth of field. And from here, I need to get a little bit lower down, but from here it looks like there is potential. I just hope that I can get back up. Oh no. Alright, take it easy. Take it easy. Oh, the ground is just giving way beneath my feet here. I don't want to start a landslide. Do not want to start a landslide. Come on. Yep. Keeping myself in line with that tree so that if I do slip, at least the tree will stop me. See, for me, this is all part of the fun. The little tussles that you have with nature. Okay, right. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, this is quite nice. We have quite a prominent tree there, which might help with the composition. Lots of colour. All right. Don't think I want to go any further than this. Yeah, it's not the best underfoot around here. Thought I was going for a swim then. Alright, so I made it down safely and managed to set up my composition looking at the rowan tree, but it's not the composition I was sort of hunting for as I was bushwhacking through all of these brackens. I've also got some food. Always bring food on a photo shoot like this, because I always find that when I get hungry, it's basically game over. So it was really tricky to get into position where I am. This is very, very steep, very slippery, very loose. One wrong move and it's essentially like a water slide all the way down to the river, and that's a good sort of 75-100 feet below. So we don't want to do that. So now that I've eaten and I've got my composition sort of figured out. Well, certainly as best as I can make it from this very precarious area. I'm pretty much ready to shoot. I've got a polarizer on the front, and that's because the leaves are so wet. They're really reflecting the bright white sky above. Even though it is raining, the leaves will still get quite a lot of glare on them. Just by adding the polarizer, you can reduce that glare, which essentially means that you see more of the colour of the foliage, so everything comes through more saturated, which is great. I'm shooting this at 3 different apertures. You see, a lot of the time I like to shoot these busy, chaotic scenes. I like to shoot them wide open, so like f3.5 for example. And that tends to soften everything and make it look quite painterly, and I like that look, but to be honest with you, I'm never certain. So what I actually prefer to do is take 3 images at different f-stops. So I'm taking 3 now, f3.5, f5.6 and f8. And then I'm just going to go back to the computer, compare them, see which one has the best look and the best feel, because obviously as you increase your aperture, you add a longer depth of field, so more of the image becomes in focus, and that can actually add a lot of distraction in some cases. So by taking a few different images at different f-stops, I can look at them and just learn from it, I suppose, and gain more experience going forward. So that's always a good thing to do. We're going to focus on the tree trunk of that main tree. That's our sort of subject, that's what we want to be sharp. 2-second timer. And there we go, I'll take 2 more at f5.6 and f8. And that will be job done on this composition. So I'm not sure, whoa, so slippy. I'm not sure how I feel about the image. It's always hard to tell with, well, it's just my experience anyway, with woodland images, and especially woodland images that are more abstract and less obvious. It all depends on the processing and if you can visualize how you're going to process them. So having just taken that, I really don't know how well it's going to work as an image. Whereas, you know, if it was lovely and misty and full of atmosphere, then you kind of get an idea straight away, and those images really don't need processing. As you can tell, I don't know if you watched my last video on the raw files. Well, that was one example of the misty trees. So yeah, I don't know how I feel, but I'm gonna put the camera down, scramble back up this steep hill, bushwhack my way through to some kind of a trail, see if I can find another image on the way, and also see if I can find Simon. So I'm just meeting up with Simon now, he's just over here. I don't know, I didn't see any other images. I mean, there's lots of potential here. I mean, just looking over my shoulder, the trees, the lovely golden brown bracken, but these places are hard and require revisits time and time again, and then come back when conditions are perfect and you can make some truly amazing images. But we're only here for the morning, and although I'm happy with that one shot that I got, well, I think I'm happy. I really don't know, I won't know until I process it. But yeah, I haven't really seen much else worth shooting. What about you, Mr. Baxter?
It's been hard. We didn't get the rain that we expected, did we?
Yeah, forecast really heavy rain, and it's just been light showers on and off.
Yeah, so I mean, some patches, the opposite side was really hard. This bit's much better. Some lovely colours through here. So I thought I'd get one last shot.
Oh, very nice.
Little square crop there, nice little
lead-in fern.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Alright, well, unless I see anything between here and the car, I think this is me signing off. So just a short one today. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.